Hi guys, Jay Smith here, welcome to the AskGolfNut channel, and today we're doing the second part in a little mini series of comparisons with the Mizuno Pro 225, and I've got it up against the JPX923 Hot Metal Pro. Now I've done the JPX923 forged against the 225, and I've also had requests from doing this, so hence why I'm doing it. When it comes to Pro, the JPX923 Hot Metal Pro, it's the, out of the Hot Metal series, it's the smallest one. It's the smallest top line, it's the smallest sole, it's the smallest blade length. Against the Mizuno Pro 225, which is the biggest of the Mizuno Pro series. You've got the 223 and then the 221 being the blade. This looks like a fat blade. It looks like the blade of 221 has been blown out a little bit. So out of the 22 series, yes, this is the thickest top line, this is the thickest sole, and yes, it is the largest blade lengths. But when it comes to the comparison of what's inside the head, the technology within the head, they're both chromoly in certain variations. However, this one is the new version of the one before, so it's 35% stronger, which means the face is 8% thinner and all this lot. Basically, if you haven't seen the review that I've done already of the JPX923 Hot Metal series, or the Pro, we'll do the Pro, pop up the little thing up there and have a little look, because this thing's a little rocket ship. Against the 225, which has got tungsten in it and stuff like that, hasn't got tungsten in this. The big thing that this thing has got though, the big thing it's got is the fact that this one has got copper. It's got copper underlay, when this one hasn't got copper, but it's got that V chassis, those ribs underneath the top line for sound. And again, if you've seen my review of this one, you'll know that this, out of all game improvement irons, is possibly the quietest of the lot. And then you got the copper of the 225. Right, let's go see how they get on from the point of view of looks, feel, and then we'll go to the performance side when, yeah, I will be whacking these everywhere on the face to see which one of these two are the most forgiving. So, data set now changed. We have it at Crosswater Golf Club, hole 7, par 3. So when it comes to these two golf clubs, the 225 and also the Hot Metal Pro, there isn't the same when it comes to like for like lofting. There is a slight difference. It's only 1.5 degrees. Down by the golf ball on this one, we have a distinctly more thicker top line than when it comes to that of the 225. Although, because of the JPX series have got that chrome barring at the back, that thickness of top line is kind of disguised, we'll call it, and it is, because you've got the satin top and then the chrome back bar, and that does return onto the top, so it makes it look a lot thinner than it actually is. And when it comes to the sole, it is thicker than 225, but blade lengths, considering, aren't that bad whatsoever. If anything, obviously this is the Pro version of the Hot Metal. Let's go give this one a hit and see if, right, I've got to remember my lie angles on these aren't the greatest. Media samples, so we might be going right, but we'll be able to see straight away. I might have to go get that green and now that target point and then aim it fractionally left. It's so bottomy. Just so bottomy. That's so me. I'm gonna be losing so much from that strike. Decent delivery, really good delivery, but the 7mm low, see, that really feels low. It's interesting when it comes to how different golf clubs feel. When you hit this low on the face, it does feel a lot more than it is, which is not a bad thing, because obviously you do need feedback to tell you where you're missing it. Now, obviously when you've got quad on the deck, you can get quite particular about how far you're missing it, but when you're at the range, yeah, you don't know. Actually having some distinct feedback sometimes is a good idea, but that was low on the face. That was not low on the face. That was fairly middled. A little bit faster. Yeah, that was middled. As you can see, my lie angle's so bad. My lie angle is so bad. Media samples. But yeah. Nice. Now this is full game improvement. I don't care when it says Pro, it says Pro on it, but all that basically means it's got a slightly thinner top line and slightly less offset and blah blah blah. But it's the same technology in this head is the same technology as in the normal Hot Metals, the full-blown game improvement Hot Metal series iron. So I don't expect it necessarily to do anything different. Same loft as all the rest. It's a degree and a half or so stronger than 225. So already carrying 184, I would have to absolutely step on one on a 225 to get it anywhere near it carrying 184. Right. Sounded nice though, considering this is full-on game improvement. I mean, this is my favourite, obviously, because it's got the nicest looks of the Hot Metal series. It's got obviously thinner top lines and less offset and stuff like that. I mean, need to make a full-on chrome version. That'd be good. Now, I could really see people use these golf clubs. Decent shot. Swinging a bit fast now, getting a bit carried away. That's still a good shot. I could really see people use these when it comes to, if you've got a JPX923 forge set and you want to step into something which is going to help you a bit more, say in the 5-iron, 4-iron, not many people have 4-irons anymore, but definitely in the 5-iron, possibly 4, then yeah, going to something like this would really give you that extra little bit of help, because remember, I mean, when it comes to technology, same like for like technology, if you increase the size of the golf club, you're going to get help in initial launch straight away because of lower further back centre of gravity. That is just physics, but that feels really quite nice. I do like the Hot Metal Pro, I really do. Does it feel the same as a 225 when it comes to softness? No, I've hit 225 enough to know with the copper underlay that 225 has got, yeah, that wins. However, oh, for some reason, I didn't get all the dots. Don't go in. Oh my word. Yeah, I only got 1 dot date on that one. I'll show you up on the screen. That was fairly well hit. There you go. I'll put that one out there now. Fairly well hit. You'll just have to trust me on that one because Quad didn't pick up all the dots for some reason. Anyway, so yeah, it does fairly well. It is gone up 38 yards in the air, 49 degrees ascent angle at 184. Okay, right, so let's go flick over to 225. Let's keep the green at 184. Let's just see what happens with a degree and a half. That's all it is. So degree and a half really for me should be around about 4 yards, 4.5 yards, give or take. So 184, that's gone 184. So those things have got to be doing 180s. I don't think they will. Right, let's go flick over 225 and let's go have some fun hitting that. Okie doke, now data set has changed. We have it still, same hole, same distance, different colour line. And we have 225 in our hand. So straight away, the difference between 225 and the Hot Metal Pro, there is a smaller difference. Why? Because obviously the Hot Metal Pro being the more gamer player look to the Hot Metal side of things has got less offset, and again this hasn't got a lot of offset at all. Top lines are relatively thin. This is the fattest one of the two of the 22 series, the Mizuno Pro 225, 223, 221 being the blade. So it's the largest one, the one with the hollow body, the one with the tungsten in it. It has got yeah, a fair amount of tech in it, but when it comes to differences just between looks of them, there's not that much really. I'll get up on the screen again if I can, so the differences, but really not that much. But this has got copper, and it does look like a satin or polished satin version of a blade, and I do like the blade because it's got chrome on it, just like chrome things. That might be a fraction left. Should be okay. That's going really well. That's going really well. Fractionally toey, fractionally low, but it's marginal. 5mm toe, that was it. But it's done the difference already. I can feel there is a marked differences in feedback, sound, audible noise from strike, which give me that understanding of where I'm hitting it on the face. You can feel that slight difference. I mean, it's doing well. I did have the information up before I moved the ball, and Quad saw it as a putt. Now that might be 3mm high, maybe 4. Slightly high strike on the face, which means they'll get a slightly lower spin profile. Oh, 6. 5.3, that's really good considering. That's not bad whatsoever. So that was just high on the face. That was a slightly heavy contact. I mean, it's done exceptionally well, but then I wouldn't take that as an actual true understanding of how far it's gone, because again, 6mm is enough that you catch a little bit of the ground first and there would be some cushioning in the strike. So I don't think it would go 179. Being honest, that will drop back a fraction. Won't drop back massively, but it will still drop a little bit. So, but yeah, I mean, it just does feel nice. And that's that copper underlay that you've got in this thing. I mean, it is lovely. It really is, considering this is, that's hit hard. Cool. How fast was that? 92.4, so that was quite quick. That was faster. Delivery's really good, strike's really good. Peak height's 38, 50 degrees ascent angle, 181. Now, the only way I can get 181 yards is if I dial it right up. That was 92.4 miles an hour. Oh, putt again. I didn't move it this time, just a shiny part of the club. And so, yeah, that's, if you can compare in my first data set to this data set, yeah, it's not like for like because I swung a little bit fast that time, but it just feels lovely. It really does. Feels absolutely gorgeous, this 225 does. Not quite as nice as 221, obviously. This is hollow head, but this is, I would say that the 225 is the softest hollow head, or softest feeling hollow head of all manufacturers. And Mizuno want that because they say nothing feels like a Mizuno, which basically means they want to try and make it as quiet and dull and muted as they possibly can. Now, I can't remember how many shots I've had because I think quads had a few putts. But I'll do one more before we go over to the forgiveness side of things. Oh, he's really caught one out the bottom. That's pretty good. Just low on the face. What was that? That was very low on the face. 10, 11 mil? 10 mil, yeah, there you go. So that's low, that's a thin. Although, still launching at 16.4, so you've lost a little bit of launch angle. But it's still spinning well at 5.2. That's not bad whatsoever. It's still gone 32 yards in the air and 46 degrees ascent angle. So it's still functional at 177, even with a slight miss hit. And that's only because of that tungsten, the 28.5 grams of tungsten that's in the bottom of this golf club. Right, so let's go give them both a hit, loads and loads and loads of times. I'll get it back on the range so we can actually do, I can do some like proper miss-hit testing. Let's see if there's any difference in forgiveness and performance overall between these two and see which one wins. So after hitting a load of shots with the Hot Metal Pro and 225, crunching the numbers to find out which one wins, and we've also got forgiveness side of things at the end for some interesting fun because I think there is a quite clear winner. Let's go have a look at the averages. Now, again, I've swung this down at around about 80 something odd miles an hour, we'll find out. Just because I think, if anything, the Hot Metal Pro against 225 question is going to be potentially for a player which not quite the same speed as a full-on 225 automatically go for. It's a case of, well, could I get away with one or the other? So slightly slower speed. Right, let's go the ball data first for the JPX923 Hot Metal Pro. 116.2 miles an hour in average ball speed, 18.9 degrees of launch, spinning at 5.356, so 5.4 spin, going up at 32 yards in the air, descending at 46.5 degrees and carrying 166. Standard deviation numbers also on there for your enjoyment and critique if you wish. Next one, Pro 225, ball speed 114.7, so 1.5 miles an hour slower than the Hot Metal Pro. Launching 19 degrees, so 0.4 higher. 5.2 spin, so, well, there's a couple of hundred RPM spin difference in there. Is that, I got standard deviation numbers, so there is a bit of blurring on there. Very, very close, basically identical. You're going 31 yards in the air and descending at 45.9 degrees, and then carrying at 165. 1 yard in it, 1 yard peak height in it. Not much whatsoever. Let's look at the club head speed to see if I'm cheating when it comes to making one go higher than the other. JPX923 Hot Metal Pro, club head speed 84.2 miles an hour, efficiency 1.38. That hot metal face is crazy fast. Angle attack 2.2 down, club path 1 from the inside, 0.1 open, lie 1.4 down, loft 2.2, yeah, that would be on a low stinger, 25.1 degrees, and 1 mil toe, 1 mil high on average. 5 mil and 3 mil is your standard deviation. Again, standard deviation's on there for everyone. I'll try and stick everything on the same screen at one point if I can. A lot of information, but there you go. Against 225 is 84.6 rather than 84.2. 0.4 of a mile an hour. Efficiency is 1.36 rather than 1.38. So again, you could argue that the Hot Metal Pro with that face is winning in efficiency. 2.1 down rather than 2.2. 1 from the inside, 0.2 open rather than 1 from the inside, 0.1 open. Very, very close. 25.8 degrees of loft rather than 25.1, so 0.7. There is 1.5 static, so within reason, I've halved the gap. So the Hot Metal Pro in this test has got 0.7 of a degree loft difference. That is it, 0.7 of a degree. 2 mil hill, 1 mil high. When it comes to the vertical and horizontal impact, or lateral impact, shall I say, when it comes to averages and also standard deviation on there for your enjoyment. Right, let's go have a little look at the graphical side so people can see the main differences. And yeah, you could say, okay, the Hot Metal Pro goes fractionally higher, that's it, 1 yard longer. They are so close, I cannot pick a winner between them on averages. However, let's go to the interesting side. Let's go to the forgiveness side and see which one wins for that one. Right, we got the 225 first. 87.1 miles an hour, clubhead speed 1.5 from the inside, 1.3 open, so baby right. 16 mil heel, 1 mil low. Yeah, efficiency is 1.29, and it was 1.36 if I remember the average, so we have dropped a fair amount whacking it out the heel. Now the 225 has got tungsten, but there is a limit to how much tungsten you can whack in something to protect it against 16 mil heels. That's a horrific place to hit any golf club. Please do not hit a golf club 16 mil heel. Why? You haven't got to move much more than 16 mil before you get to the hosel, and everyone loves a hosel rocket. That ruins your scorecard straight away, well, especially for that hole anyway. Go over to the next one. We've got the Hot Metal Pro this time rather than 225, 85.4 miles an hour, 2.1 from the inside, 1.1 open, go to the right. 2 mil low, 16 mil heel. So within 1 millimeter vertical strike point, same lateral, we've gone from 1.29 efficiency to 1.31. So the Hot Metal Pro, even hit off of that part of the face, is 0.02 better at efficiency than the 225. I'm not surprised. Obviously, you've got that chromoly face, and it's springy as heck. It's 35% stronger and 8% thinner and all this lot. Basically, they're just trying to make an effective trampoline out of certain parts of the face. They've really tried to make the heel much more springy to try and alleviate those interesting 16 mil strikes, and they've done pretty well. Winner on the heels, I would have to say JPX. Next one, low toe on a 225, 86.1 miles an hour, 1.2 from the inside, 1.1 open, 10 mil low, 8 mil toe. Not very nice, generally speaking, on an iron, and it's dropped to 1.3 efficiency. No surprise from the mistrike. 10 mil low is not very nice on any iron, and then 8 mil toe, so 18 millimeters away. It's done all right. 1.3, it's still staying in the 1.3s and 1.36. It's going to drop in distance, it has done, but it's done okay. You then move that to a Hot Metal Pro, 87.6 miles an hour, so fraction faster, but doesn't really matter. If we're talking about yardage as it would be, but it's efficiency we're looking at. 0.7 from the inside, 2.4 close, so fraction close, so take that one. 10 mil low, 14 toe, a much worse strike than the 10 mil low, 8 mil toe of the 225. Efficiency 1.33. Better. Now, there is a degree in loft difference between the last two hits because of the 2.4 closed. It's still, yeah, it's the JPX is making the difference, it's the face. That is an extreme part to hit, really. 14 toe, 10 low. It's doing really well, the Hot Metal Pro, and it is that chromoly face, that little trampoline that we have. Next one, we've got the Mizuno Pro 225, 86.4 miles an hour clubhead speed, 0.1 from the inside, 0.6 open, basically 0-0 delivery. 15 mil toe. 15 mil toe, straight away, bang at 15 mil toe. 1.31 efficiency is done pretty well for 15 mil toe. Remember, this is still a Mizuno Pro. It is the most helpful of the Mizuno Pro, but it's still a Mizuno Pro. Please don't hit it off too weird and wonderful parts if you really want to continue being consistent in your distance gappings, please. You move that over to a JPX, a Hot Metal Pro, you can go 85.1 miles an hour, 1.8 from the inside, 1.8 closed, 12 mil toe, 1 mil high, 12 mil toe. So that's less than the 15, and it's gone 1.39 efficiency. Yeah, more than that in a sec. Next one, still the same thing. We're going now, we're pushing the Hot Metal Pro to try and hit it worse, to try and get it to a point where it drops the same as a 225. 84.1 miles an hour club speed, 1.2 from the inside, 1.1 closed, 3 mil low, 20 mil toe, 1.35. Yes, 1.35. That is dropping 0.01 off the average of a Mizuno Pro 225 from 23 millimeters away from middle. I'd say the JPX series is mental. Not only is the new JPX series sounds much nicer, they're quieter, duller, much more like a Mizuno Pro feeling. Nothing feels like a Mizuno kind of idea. But it's true that they've worked the head much more in the JPX series of the 923 at least, to try and calm it down, to try and make sure that the noise that you get for it is much softer, much duller. However, they've got a face in it, which is mental. I haven't seen a face, I mean, there was quite a few shots on there when I was hitting them normally. I'm trying to sort him normal as in out the middle. And I was getting efficiencies of 1.4. which for a 7-iron, although I know 28.5 degree 7-irons are a little bit strong, I know that one, comment below, but still I haven't seen 1.4s. I can't remember getting 1.4s off a Rogue X, and I think that was 27 degrees. It's ridiculously springy, this JPX Hot Metal Pro, Hot Metal High Launch, doesn't matter, it's the same technology. The Pro bit just means thinner top line, thinner sole fractionally, and also not so much offset, but it's still got the same chassis, it's still got all the same help in there that the Hot Metal, full-blown Hot Metal series has. So conclusion out of that, distance wise and stuff like this, if you try and normalize things, they're both exactly the same. You're going to get a fraction more out of the Hot Metal Pro because it's got a little bit more help, it's going to go fraction higher and all that kind of idea. You could argue that the 225 will be more consistent if you pepper the middle more. Because of the super active face you've got of the chromoly, there is a possibility that there might be a small trade-off in consistency of distance, where the 225, being the Mizuno Pro side of things, is going to be a bit more consistent at hitting the number if you do your job correctly. However, golfers don't do their job correctly. That's the reason why we have a game improvement sector. My problem is the game improvement sector should be called, in most cases, distance sector, not game improvement. But yeah, there's a different video. This JPX923 Hot Metal Pro, doesn't matter what it is so ridiculously forgiving. It's not a fair fight when you put it up against the Mizuno Pro 225. If you're someone who needs the help of missed strikes like this, Hot Metal Pro, definitely, absolutely. If you're someone who doesn't miss the face this badly, and I'm certain examples, I'm pushing it a little bit for fun, but just to see if there is a difference, and obviously we can gain, there quite clearly is. You can go to Mizuno Pro if you don't miss the middle by too far. It looks arguably nicer with cleaner, much more blade looks. Again, that's subjective. Some people like it, some people don't. If you need that strike help, Hot Metal Pro, that's just an absolute fact. And then the rest of it is up to you. So comment below what you think of these two irons. Hope you liked it. If you did, thumbs up. Go on, YouTube's like it, so do I. Next to that is a little red button. That's the subscribe button. It's free. Go for it. That'd be brilliant. Also helps the channel out by doing that. And next to that one is a little notification bell. Go on, get the little notification bell. Ding-a-ling. Go on, get it on. Notifies you next time I upload another video anyway, which hopefully won't be long now because I've still got loads and loads of comparisons to do. So I hope you're well, and we'll see you again soon.